Hey there, East here, Lacquer Imports. New project for the day. I recently got a compressor, Land Rover compressor, for the L663 Defender. So I'm going to be unboxing it and installing it today, and you guys are coming along for the journey. Alright, going to go ahead and get this unboxed so you guys can see what it comes with. Cover, wiring harness, there is the compressor. What is that? Nuts, bolts, zip ties, some stuff to get us going there, brackets. This is the air hose. It's quite a nice bag actually that it comes in. So there is the compressor that goes behind the cowling on the side of the vehicle. Seems to be pretty sturdy, hefty. I'm sure it's made where everything else is made in the world. And pretty good packaging, if I'm honest. The bracket. So there all the pieces are. Let's get unpacking on the back of the vehicle, get that all cleaned up, and get this installed. I am going to talk through as much of this as I can as we're going through, and we are going to follow this step by step because I think that's probably the right thing to do. You're also going to get some really good shots of the back of my head where I'm balding, so I'm sorry in advance. Alright, first thing we need to do, disconnect the battery. Alright, getting ready to take the battery out. It is this cover under the passenger seat. I got a 13, whoops, terrible camera work here, sorry. And of course it's not a 13, it is a 10. Alright, I'm back, round two. 10mm. That is the one. Fortunately the negative post is back here, so that does make it a whole lot easier to get this out. I tell you what, that would be a pain to have to replace. Fortunately the battery's gone in and been replaced once already by Land Rover. So anyway, that's where the battery is disconnected, so no power to the vehicle. We can get back to installing that air compressor. Back on the main bit, following the instructions. So all of this needs to come out. Well, I might have to do some research on the internet to see how this comes off, because as you would think, or as I would think, it would just snap off, but no such luck. So I'll be back. Alright, I didn't actually go and check anywhere to see how this comes apart. I'm just going to wing it and see what happens. Probably could use power tools for this, make it a bit easier, but it's Saturday. Got nothing better to do. You have to take this entire piece off. I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to go with we are going to take absolutely everything apart in here in an attempt to get this done. Still, could be worse. Extension for this, because that's just going to make it that much easier to get all the nuts and bolts out. Okay, does that come off as easy as we would think? Out those bolts in there. Let's see. Yep, there we go. Not completely crazy. A couple of these came off with it, but we'll worry about that when we put it back on. All right, looks like those are going to have to come out as well. And those are going to be, those are rather beefy. The right one? Nope. How about that one? Yep, that is a T40. So let's get that out. Okay, that's off, that's off. Back to the T30 down here. Okay, there is a screw there. This fortunately is just one of those push screws. Don't lose it. Come back. Got it. Got it. All right. That's that piece out. All right. What else is holding this thing in? Another screw right there. Okay. Get that. Never find that again. Ah, found it. Okay. How does that feel? Now this chair, this seat, is going to have to go forward, and the good thing is that that's what's holding my light in place so that you guys can see. So I'm going to figure that one out in a second. What is going on? All right, don't need to lose all the tools. What do we think is going on here? You think there's a... Surely not. You think I've got to take that? I've got to take that off. Well, hopefully that aligns back up. We'll see. Should though. I think we're making progress. Certainly feels like it. Okay, let me get that. Yep, just clips. Good news there. Go ahead and whoops. Ah, perfect. Perfect. It's the 60% of the split. How are we gonna do this now? I don't know. How about that? Can you still see? Hopefully. Come on, there we go. One more. What? How many possible things? Why? This as well? Surely not. Back here? Are we sure this thing doesn't just come off? It has to. Doesn't it? I mean, no, it doesn't, but it'd be a lot easier if it did just... Struggle bus! Oh, struggle bus. Should I read the instructions? Probably not. And definitely not going to. Maybe. I wonder, does this cover, would that really make a difference? Maybe. I doubt it. But sure. What about this guy? Let's get you unplugged as well before I need to order a new one of those. Okay. Summer's on the East Coast. Oh, there are a lot. It is hot. And it is humid. I don't know if it needs to be this humid. Why does this not want to? So that's all loose. I can see that's loose. I can see that. I think it's something behind this cover that's holding it on that I am just not seeing. And certainly we can take this off. Let's have a look. I think there is a... Never find that again. Can we see what's happening back here? Is there a chance? Sure. Sure. Gonna break every clip getting this thing out. Seems that turned itself off. Turn that back on. There we go. Sure. We're on a budget. We're on a budget. Why? Why would it be that hard? What I do know is when I finally figure it out, that's going to be interesting. These are 2 pieces. Okay, good. I'm not going completely crazy. The thing that I've noticed with a lot of these clips is you can't go slowly. If you're going to get them, just get them. That will, as I say that, just go quickly. And that way you are less likely to break them. Making progress. When I say making progress, I don't know what the hell's going on. Is it getting looser? Sure. Well, we're closer. I wonder, unplug this. Unplug this guy. Maybe. Possibly. Well, come on. I mean, we don't have all day. Very good. All right. Why? What? Where? Who? How? I don't... Just gonna breathe. Loosen that just a little bit. Is that gonna give us the... Let's see how far that actually has to even come off. All the way. All the way off. If that helps us. Does that help us? Does it? I don't... Why? 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 Just heights. That was easy. Do we lose that 12-volt plug now? Do we? No, we don't. We need to use a suitable tool to remove the small connector cover from the main connector. Suitable tool. I feel like the way everything's been going here, a suitable tool would probably be a hammer. But the tool that is suitable has been acquired. Alright, so that little guy comes all the way out. Then these push out, pull out, push out. Okay. No, you got to go the other way, not that way. There we go. This way. I mean, really? Is this not a suitable tool for you? Well, you know what? We're going this way. We're gonna go that way. Doesn't say to go that way, but that's the way we're going, because that's the way it's gonna come out. Okay, next. Carefully release the grey colored electrical connector. I got it. All right, are we supposed to be taking this off now? Is there a hair in my eye? Anyway, all right. Carefully remove that. Sure. Use a suitable tool to remove that. All right, now we've got to take those wires and run them through this side. The question though, and does it even matter, which way does it go? It goes that way. All right, and is that right? I don't think so. I think that one's supposed to be the other way around. How hard do you think it's going to be to get that out? I bet you it's going to be all of it hard. Why? Maybe not. Maybe I don't. Yeah, it's not going to let me do that because it's got to go the other way around. But how do you get it out? Not like that. Why is it so hot? All right, gonna breathe. See if we can figure this out. So that's got to go back out. That one. That is out, so it shouldn't be held in by anything, right? Let's get a long pokey and see, does that help it come out? Did it? Aha! All right, so now this has to go that way. That was a pain. Okay, we've got that. Now, the rest of it. So we don't need that anymore because that comes with that. And this clicks on there. Bang! Zip ties. We'll use the Land Rover zip ties because I'm sure they cost $400 more than normal zip ties. But now I can't get too far away with that 12 volt plug because that came out down here somewhere. How far does it want us to zip tie this thing up? Okay. Does that seem good? Sure. Push that on. Does it need to go that far? I don't know. All right, and this needs to go where? There. One more up here. Sure. Let's just put it up here. Okay. Yep. Now what we're going to do is cut these not flat at all so that the next time I'm in here I slice my arm open. This has got to go back in now. This should be fun. No, I say that. We're just going to go over the top of this bracket that gave us so much grief last time. Okay. Which side has this got to go? That's got to go that side. Before I have to come in here and do this all again. Okay, and okay, and that one's just gonna, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, bolts back in. Before we do all of that, where is that 12 volt for that plug supposed to come out? Because if we don't get it out now, it's going to be a nightmare. where's it supposed to come out? Through one of these? I think that's got to come all the way down. Let's plug these back in, if I can find it. There we go. I was going to make an inappropriate joke there, but this is YouTube, so just going to keep that one inside my head. Alright. Put these down here so that they can roll everywhere, and I will lose every single one of them. Now, does it tell you to tighten them or not? Because that's the thing that I do not know here. Does this need to be tightened? And eventually yes, but when? Apparently not yet. Alright, next. Remove and retain fixing S3. But what am I looking at? I don't know. What? Let's do it by trial and error. Seems that that's how we've been doing everything else. There's another one that goes on? What? Okay, so under, around, over, and through. Do I know what I'm doing? Nope. In there, up here. Okay, so that was the hole they were talking about in the previous one. But sure, where is that bracket? So what do they want? You want that? How? But how? Why? I don't... Uh-huh. Down there? What? No. Perfect. It can't be that. I mean, it can, but... Yep. So that's where they want it to go. Nope. Turn this thing back, because that's not what it was. I think this bracket is different. I think it wants us to do this. It's not what it says. It's not what it looks like. But let's give it a try. Nope. Let's do it the hard way. Yep, there we go. Fingers. Can we do it? Maybe. Probably not. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's take this thing out again. 10 mil. Let's put that back there. This guy under here. Now, is that where it's supposed to go? I don't know. What I am going to do is tighten the snot out of it, in case that's where it is supposed to go. And then I don't have to try and take this off again. If that isn't where it goes, then I've got to take it off again anyway. Buffeting. Buffeting. Maybe. Where are the... Yep. But now, am I going to be short? And the answer to that is very likely. I'm pretty sure that those were supposed to come off, because that makes 0 sense unless... Yep, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bolt out. Never see that again. To then remove this, to take the bolts off that I was told to put back on, to then put this back on for the 48,000th time. Alright, it's the next day because yesterday camera kept shutting off, kept saying it was over 100 degrees and couldn't operate. So it is now Sunday, it is a lot cooler, and we're going to carry on figuring out how to put this thing together. Connect the battery. A minute wants us to connect that into here. Make sure the display works. Okay, so we just need to make sure the display works on that. But then do we disconnect the battery again? Yep, sure do. All right, battery's back on. Harness connecting. Maybe. But I mean, how are you? Maybe. That's the right way. I mean, why? How? Let's see if I can do it with it. Yeah, there we go. We'll just do it that way. Maybe. Maybe. All right. Plug it in. Make sure the display works. There we go. Very good. All right. Unplug the display. Now that we know it works. Battery is disconnected. Use a suitable tool to measure and mark 4 drilling locations. Okay. You know, probably would have been easier had they just given us a template. That's probably just me. How difficult is this going to be? I'm gonna go with very.
2,000 years later.
Hey there, welcome back to this episode of Land Rover Lifestyle. I'm your host East. I have just been struggling for probably 45 minutes to get this back together. That was a pain, and it still doesn't even fit properly. There's still pieces that don't fit properly, but it's where we are, so we're just going to carry on. Everything is in. Next thing to go on is the compressor right here. That's got to go through there and like so. All right, washers, rubber washers first, bigger washers over that, and bolts over that to keep it all in place. Now it says not to tighten these up all the way, to check your fitment first. Fitment looks fine. I am not going to mess around with it. That is going to be just perfect. Tightened enough that it's not going to go anywhere. Next, the cover, which is pretty straightforward, and 3 cords to plug in. I fear that this one that we zip tied all the way in is going to be too short. I'm going to use these, and I'm going to grab that there, and I'm going to see if I can just get a bit more out. I don't know that all those zip ties were necessary, but it's too late now. That is not going to work. We need a lot more out of that. Yep, we're just going to grab this and give it a good old yank. Hopefully, oh, you know what, I wonder if I get these in first, would that make it any easier than having to struggle after the fact? And I'm thinking yes, it's right there. I hope this thing never has to come off, because it is not gonna come off without a fight. I truly need a 1/4 of an inch. This Land Rover life. Yep, here we are. I'll be right back. Finally got it. Line this all up and that should be it. What a absolute pain. That was like fighting Tyson. Holyfield Tyson, not Jake Paul Tyson. But that was a pain. Let's see. That's got to connect on there. And on the other side, we have got that, which is pretty cool because that actually turns onto the tires. So I'm going to do the rear tire back here, go to 50, and we're going to set, and it should let's see how long it takes. There we go. Perfect. Well, I tell you what, I am very happy with that. That was a pain to install though. I did not expect it to be quite that difficult. But it is in. That's going to make the world of difference, especially when we're off-roading with the club and we've got to deflate and inflate. I'm very happy with that. Also, going to the pool, inflating the pool floats. That'll come in pretty handy. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed the video. That was a lot, but we are done. Thanks for watching. Bye.